Hey, this is Joel once again. I guess if you've been going through this process, we're becoming very familiar with one another. Uh, Welcome to another session of the Freedom Life and Security National Life. Today, I want to talk to you about setting your first appointment. Now, for some of you, you've already been there and done that. But if you're coming in and you're brand new, one of the things that we ask you to do is, focus on your sphere of influence. We asked that for a couple of reasons. I think I've talked about it, but I'll just share again um, why we ask you to do that. Because we're going to have different ways for you to, um, you know, provide pre-need services. One of the avenues would be to work directly for a funeral home. We have partnerships and relationships with funeral homes. We're developing more relationships with funeral homes that are allowing us to come in and have our team actually work the funeral home, work the files. It's a very unique situation, and we look for certain qualities in a person to allow them to be able to go into a funeral home. You're representing that funeral home brand, so we're looking for people who are stable, reasonable, not argumentative, can follow direction as well, etc. That's a small price to pay to make a very good living. But we also, provide leads, free leads that have more to do with cold calling. We have leads that have a cost associated with them, and then we have this appointments that we set up as well. And that kind of was slowed down by COVID, but we're moving full steam ahead. And so you can purchase leads, actually go out and you can say, hey, listen, I want to have 10 appointments a week, or 5 appointments a week, and then you could set a budget and go from that. But the thing about it is, and there's a host of other things that you can do as well. Ranging from working flea markets. I mean, I know of an individual that does probably $1.7 million of pre-need business a year just working flea markets, setting up a booth, meeting people, having a little raffle, offering people free will packets and memorial planning guides and other things and calls on them. And then, and actually, in some cases, sells a pre-need right there on the spot. So, I mean, there's many, many ways to go about, developing your pre-need business. With that said, when we asked you in the beginning, mind your sphere of influence. You want to do that for one reason. One is for many reasons, but one, you want to practice. You want to practice your craft, your presentation. And it doesn't even make a difference if the person can purchase or not. They may not have the ability to purchase, but you do want to practice your craft. And if possible, myself or one of our team members will go out with you, help you. We're not trying to take your commission. We just want to help you become successful. Because what we don't want you to do is burn leads. We don't want you to come in with enthusiasm and not have the competence to actually close a pre-need sale because you don't understand your presentation. You don't understand. When a person says they want to think about it, that doesn't mean that you stop. And it doesn't mean that you demean the person by saying, didn't you say this was important? Why wouldn't you? Don't you know you're going to die? We don't berate customers. That's not the way that we present pre-need. But when you are setting your first appointment in your sphere of influence, there's certain ways that you can go about that to make it easier for you. But what I can say is this: what you do behind the scenes is going to determine your success. It's not you, out in front. It's what you do when no one's looking that is going to determine how high you go. That's just not in this industry, but that's just in any industry. We hear so many, Jimmy John. Jimmy John's. We see the commercials. They get there faster than the fire department. You think, wow, that's a new, sandwich franchise. But the Jimmy John's has been around for 40 years. But they did a lot of things behind the scenes, from selling, Jimmy from selling sandwiches out of his car to opening up his first little shop. And for years, just having that one shop and then opening up another shop and then another shop and then franchising. And now we see Jimmy John's that's all over the United States. But But it's what happens behind the scenes that's going to make you successful. And what should happen behind the scenes is you setting appointments in your sphere of influence. So how do you do that? One way of going about it is calling people that you know. It's important because most people, 98% of people that you know, have never heard of pre-need, they don't know how it works. And particularly if you understand the presentation, you'll know that they'll be infinitely interested in how they can do things like, protect their bank account, so their family can have access to it, and how to prevent their family from arguing, when they come, if something were to happen to them and their family members are at odds and conflict with one another, and then the letter of instruction. There's a lot of things that you're going to present to that family that they're going to be infinitely thankful that you took the time, because they're not going to know all of these things up front. You can't explain it to them. Oh yeah, I got some good things about appointed deaf representative, blah blah blah. You don't need to do all that. What you need to do is listen. You go to, here's one way of doing it. Hey, listen, I started a new job. It's a community service role with a local funeral home. We're giving away free will packets and information on how to prevent your bank account from going into probate. They also talk about not putting your family in a position where if something were to happen to you, your family wouldn't have to go in and make the most difficult decisions on the worst day of their lives. Does that make sense? I have to present to 3 people before I can be considered to be fully trained. Would you be one of the 3? I promise you, you're under no obligation. That's one way. It's written right there. So you take notes and just use that right there. Most people, and you can either do it in person or you can do it on Zoom. I can be there with you and help you, support you in that effort. But it's, all you need is, just try to set up 3 appointments. So that's one way of going about it. Another way of going about it, you calling somebody, you're talking to them. You don't. Sometimes it's not good to just call a person up and say, hey, listen, I need to present. You just call up, talk to them. Hey, how's things going? Blah 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 blah. Hey, you remember when Kobe and his daughter died? It got me thinking. If something were to happen to me unexpectedly, I wouldn't want my family to have to go on the worst day of their lives and make the most difficult decisions of their life. After researching, I found a funeral home that gives free will packets, free insurance for kids, grandkids, or great grandkids under 18. It's good stuff. I got the material for free, but I told them I would serve and at least share it with 3 people. I knew you wouldn't mind listening. I don't have the you in there, but you wouldn't mind listening. If you don't mind, would you be one of my 3 people? So listen, I kind of mixed that with the last one, but you get the gist of it. So basically, all I'm saying is just step out there. It doesn't have to be perfect, the perfect presentation. Just go out there, step out there, make and set some appointments. Set 2 or 3 appointments. You can do it. I believe you can make this happen, and you're going to grow from it. People are going to be happy with you when you leave, or whether it's a Zoom conference. Trust me, they're going to be very happy with some of the information that you're going to provide to them, and you're going to grow and get better at your presentation. Now, here's the thing: I've had people that have just come in, taken the bull by the horn, set appointments. They've gone far beyond that and actually wrote deals. I've had people call me and say, "Hey, listen, a few days ago I wrote 3, 4, 5 deals. I just want you to look over the material, make sure everything is correct." I'm thinking, what the what? You did what? They just took the initiative. So, I'm not saying you got to go all the way down that line, but just at least try to set a few appointments. Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. I look forward to seeing you.